Hi everybody, this is Justina with JustynaTHandMade. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through how the Das Handy little crossbody cell phone bag comes together. If you are familiar with German, Das Handy, it means literally a cell phone. No, I'm not German. I'm learning German, and I thought that that would be a great name for the pattern. And so, as you can see, this is a cute little bag that it's great if you just have to grab your cell phone, maybe some keys that can be placed in the front zipper pocket. Maybe you want to have a credit card with you or your ID and maybe a metro pass, so you can place those in here. Those are two card slots, so I'm just gonna show you how they look like when they are filled. They are secure with this little tab, and they're gonna be on the back of your bag, so they're gonna stay secure against your body. And here you have a secure zipper pouch if you wanna have your keys or maybe a chopstick or some other smaller items with you as well. And inside there's plenty of space for a large cell phone. I think any cell phone that is currently on the market will fit in the bag just fine. The final size of the bag it's about 5 and 7.5 inches. So like I said, it's pretty large and any cell phone should fit inside just fine. This is a new pattern, and this video serves as the video instruction for the pattern. If you want to make this handy little bag, you will have to purchase a copy of the pattern from my Etsy store. The link is in the description box below. And as always, a discount code for this pattern gonna be available in my Facebook group, so make sure you visit Facebook group to grab the coupon code to get the pattern at a discount, and that code will be available for about a week from the premiere of this video, so don't wait. Grab the pattern if you don't want to sew it just yet, and take advantage of the discount code. The full list of the supplies for this project is available in the Etsy listing, so you can just visit the listing, check the supply list, and you'll know if you have everything you need to complete the project. If you have any questions, please reach out. The best way to reach me is through Etsy, so send me a message there. That's the best way of the notifications getting to me. You can also post a question in the Facebook group and leave a comment here under this video. Just please know that YouTube is not the best in sending notification, but I do check for comments, so you'll hear back from me either way. If you do like this pattern and the video I made for you, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up. If you are not yet a subscriber, subscribe to the channel. That really helps my channel to grow, so then I'm gonna be able to create more of the sewing videos for you. Also, if you don't have a question but you would like to help out my channel, just drop a comment in the video. That make the YouTube algorithm recommend the videos to more people. Also, if you have a crafty friends that you think would benefit from this video, please make sure to share it. I will appreciate that. And now, if you want to see how this cute Das Handy little crossbody cell phone bag comes together, please keep watching. To start our project, I'm gonna go through the pattern cuts and all the materials and supplies needed to complete the project. So first of all, when you download the pattern file, you're gonna have this template page attached as well, and you're gonna print it out. in order to use it to cut out your main panel, which I have here, you're gonna cut that panel on the wrong side of your vinyl or cork. This is important if you want the layout to be the same way. So just make sure you are transferring all the little cuts on the wrong side of your fabric. As you can see, I have all those little dots transferred. The way I do it, I just cut the whole thing first, then place the template on top of the cut on the wrong side of the fabric. I use a pencil that has pretty sharp point, and then I just transfer the dot. I poke the dot through the paper and transfer all those dots onto the fabric. Then using a ruler and an X-Acto knife, I cut all those little cuts. So as you can see, this one is cut here, here the zipper opening is cut, and my card slots are cut. I made a little punch holes on the end of each of my credit card cuts. This is not necessary. If you want to, you can do that. I would just be careful, making sure they are inside of your lines, not outside. You don't want to enlarge those cuts too much because you want them to be pretty tight, so your cards stay in your card slots secure. So just make sure before you punch the holes, you test your cuts with a credit card, making sure you are not gonna enlarge them too much, so they're not gonna keep your cards nice and secure. So this is our first cut, which is our main panel with all our little cuts. Then you're gonna use the same template to cut your lining, and here you're just gonna leave it nice and plain. Don't make any cuts inside of the fabric. Here I'm using woven cotton. You can use nylon ripstop as well here, and that's what I did on my previous projects. But if you don't have it, I had this cotton that I think looks cute with my outer, so I use that fabric. And it's fine to use woven fabric on the main lining panel, and on your pocket panel you can also use a woven fabric. Here I used nylon ripstop, and then on the card slot ribbon you need to use a fabric that it's not gonna unravel. So here definitely use nylon ripstop or any other pretty thin fabric that will not fray, left with raw edges. Then we have our tops. So one cut will be for our card slot pocket top, and the other one will be for our D-rings. I have two lengths of zipper number 5 cut as well. Then we're gonna go to our supplies. So I have some rivets to create my back strap. I haven't decided on the color yet, so I have my webbing prepped, but on the end of the project I'm gonna decide which color I'm gonna use. Here I have some small rivets to attach my back tack. I have a sliding adjuster, 2 D-ring tabs, 2 swivel clasps, and zippers. Also, I'm gonna be using this plastic snap to secure my card slot closure. You can use the metal snap if that's something you have on hand. I'm gonna use that one because this one have some colors to choose from. Usually the metal ones are silver or gold. So all of this are the supplies we need to create the project. Also useful will be a double-sided tape. I'm gonna be using this 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape, and also I'm gonna have just a generic card on hand to help me with creating the card slot pockets. So now that we have everything ready, we're gonna put everything on the side besides our main panel, our card slot ribbon, and here we're gonna start with placing our double-sided tape. So I'm gonna place a piece of double-sided tape. This is the right side up, so I'm gonna place it underneath the first cut. I'm placing it about 1/4 of an inch below because I want it to be secured, but I don't want to sew through it. Do the same on the second card slot. And also we're gonna place a piece of double-sided tape above our top card slot so we can secure our tape to create the second pocket. Now that our double-sided tape is down, we're gonna remove backing from the first piece. And take your fabric, and this should be a right side. My fabric, you can really tell the right or wrong side, but if you're using something that has definitely a right side, just make sure that the right side is facing down, and place it just below the first double-sided tape piece. So you want the fabric to be facing the panel, the wrong side of your main outer panel, and to be stuck only to the first piece of your double-sided tape. When you have that done, you're gonna take the project to the machine. You're gonna flip it over, making sure your ribbon stays nice and flat on the upper side of your project. You're gonna then sew along the card slot opening 1/8 of an inch below it, making sure you are sewing the tape onto the fabric, back stitch on the beginning and on the end of your stitch to secure the seam. I'm gonna be sewing with the 3.5 stitch length, and like I said, the seam allowance, we're gonna be measuring it from the cut, and it's gonna be 1/8 of an inch. Now that our initial seam is done and our ribbon is attached, we're gonna place it in a downwards position to the bottom of our project. Take a card and place it in a way that it butts up to the second cut. Fold your ribbon, remove the card, remove the backing of the other piece of the tape, fold the pocket, secure the fabric. You can now test it again to make sure it fits the way you want it. And now that we have that done, we're gonna take the project back to the machine and we're gonna sew just below the second card slot cut, with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length, again making sure we are back stitching on the beginning and on the end of our seam. Now that our first pocket is created, we're gonna measure 1/2 inch above our cut line and mark on the wrong side of the fabric. And now we're gonna place our card, align it with the 1/2 inch mark, fold the fabric, remove the card, remove the backing of the tape, and secure the fabric. Now you can test both pockets at the same time. Making sure they look good. If you are happy with the placement, you can now take the project back to the machine, making sure your pockets are staying nice and flat on that side. The rest of the ribbon, it's facing up. And now you're gonna be sewing 1/8 of an inch above the card slot cut. So you're gonna be sewing just above your card slot cut, attaching the back part of your pocket. Again, make sure you are back stitching. You are sewing with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance from the cut and 3.5 stitch length. Now the final seam of the card slot is done, and now I can just trim the unneeded part of my ribbon. Now I'm gonna work on my smaller elements. So I'm gonna take both cuts for the tops and I'm gonna fold them in half. So again, I'm gonna use some double-sided tape and place a piece on 1/2 of the top. And fold my fabric in half, aligning the edges. And when I have both prepped like this, I'm gonna take them to the machine and I'm gonna sew along those edges with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length to create my card slot pocket top and my D-ring tops. Now that we have the tops prepped, we're gonna put them on the side, take our main panel and our long zipper. We're gonna now prep one pair of ends. So you're gonna just fold the tape with the 90-degree angle, and you can take the zipper to the machine and base stitch it. You can even base stitch it by hand. I'm just gonna use my lighter to melt the tape together. Now I'm gonna take my panel, fold it in half and find a midpoint and mark it. When I have that marked, I'm gonna take my zipper tape and I'm gonna start attaching it along the curved edge and leaving about 1/4 of an inch between the midpoint and the start of my zipper tape. It might help a little bit if you make a tiny cuts along the tape. On the end, we're gonna mark 1.25 inches from the bottom edge and mark it. I'm just pinning the tape itself. I don't want to make holes in my vinyl. I just want to have that marked done. Now I'm gonna split my tape, and I'm gonna repeat that on the other side, making sure that the distance from the midpoint is the same on both sides. And when I have my project prep like this, I'm gonna take it to the machine and I'm gonna baste my zipper on. I'm gonna be sewing with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length, making sure that I'm slipping my zipper end at the point of the 1.25 inches that I marked. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side, making sure I'm slipping the end at the 1.25 inch mark. So take your project to the machine, making sure your cardstock pocket stays nice and flat so they're not gonna be caught in the seam, and baste the zipper onto your main outer panel. After our zipper is basted to our main panel, now we're gonna be working on our zipper pocket. So you're gonna take the short zipper and your 2 lining panels, place the panels right side up, and place the zipper tape along the longer edge, coil side up as well, and clip. Flip the project, place the second lining panel right side up again on the table, and place the other edge of the zipper tape along the longer edge and clip. And now you're gonna have a project that has the right side of the fabric with the visible wrong side of the zipper, and the wrong sides of the fabric with the right side of the zipper with the coils on top. That's how we want it to be laid out. And now you're gonna take it to the machine and you're gonna baste the lining on with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance along each edge of your zipper, making sure you are sewing only through the 1 lining panel and the zipper tape. Flip it over, make sure this lining that it's already sewn in is out of the way of the seam, and sew the other side of the lining. So take your project to the machine and sew the lining onto the zipper tape with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Now that the lining is sewn into our zipper, we're gonna insert our zipper pull. To do that, we have to make sure that our zipper tape is nicely zapped. And just insert your zipper pull. Now you want to pay attention to how your pocket closes, because we want the zipper pull to be on the top. So that's the part where we have our zipper attached in the final position. So this pocket's gonna be this way. You wanna pull your zipper up to the top, and now using double-sided tape, we're gonna place the pocket inside of our zipper opening. Now you want to make sure your pocket is nice and open on the back of your project. Don't worry that the lining is too long. We're gonna trim it. This is like this on purpose. So right now just concentrate on the zipper being centered in your zipper opening, the lining being nice and open on the back. And when you have that prepped, you're gonna take your project to the machine and you're gonna top stitch along the zipper opening with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. What I like to do, I like to start the seam on the end of the zipper, continue the seam, and then double the seam, securing the stitches and secure the point on the end of the zipper with the double seam. So take your project to the machine, make sure your lining stays nice and open, and sew the lining pocket inside of your zipper opening. Now that our zipper is sewn in, now we can put both lining panels together and trim the larger one. And here we want to fold the end of the pocket over and clip. The opening in the pocket gonna serve as our turning hole, so we want to make sure that that stays open. And now we're gonna clip the sides of the pocket. And now we're gonna take it back to the machine and sew the sides of our pocket. You wanna flip your project over and sew from the this side, so this way you see your outer panel and you know it's not gonna be sewn into your seam. The same on this side, so just pull the fabric over and sew the side of your lining in your zipper pocket. And you're gonna be sewing with 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, whatever suits you best, and 3.5 stitch length. Now that our pocket sides are sewn, now we're gonna move to creating our card slot closure. So you should have a little cut above your card slot pockets, And this is where you take one of the tops you created. Just choose whichever you think is prettier. I think this one is better because it has some of the flowers on it as well. And you're gonna place it inside of your card. And here you can adjust the length, so you just want to make sure that it's gonna cover both pockets. I like it to be above around an inch and a quarter below the second cut. So when I have it placed like this and I like the placement, I'm gonna take it back to the machine, and now I'm gonna sew around the opening, making sure that this stays in an upwards position. So I'm gonna sew above the cut, come back one stitch length, sew over the tab that we just inserted, and go back, making sure I overlap the stitches or back stitch to secure the sewing. So take your project to the machine and sew the tab on, sewing around the cut that we made in our outer panel. I sew my little tab on. As you can see, it catches the tab and the fabric above the tab, and then coming down one stitch and catching the other side of the cut. So now I have it nice and secured. When we have that done, we're gonna install our snap. Like I said, you can use a snap of your choice. I'm gonna use the plastic snaps. It's nice and easy to attach. The only thing is you have to be careful. Don't attach it through the fabric of the packets itself. Install it only on the top tab and the outer fabric. So first I'm gonna attach the female part on the tab itself. I want to make sure when I'm attaching it, I'm leaving about 1/4, 3/8 of an inch, a little fabric to grab the tab when opening. When I have the female part attached, I'm gonna find the best placement for the male part, but it's a good idea to put your cards in, so this way you're gonna account for the space when the card slot packets are full. You don't want to put it too low, so then you're gonna create the buckling effect. So now I'm pretty confident that this is the perfect placement. And now my snap is attached. Now I'm gonna be working on my D-ring tabs. So first I'm gonna cut the panel in half to create 2 D-ring tabs. Prep my D-rings, and now I'm gonna look for my little slits, and again I'm gonna insert the tabs. This way you wanna insert the tab so this side is the better side. You're gonna insert it about 3/8 of an inch inside, and when you have that done, you're gonna take the project to the machine and you're gonna sew above the cut. So you're gonna be sewing on the main panel and the tab above your cut. That's how you want this part to still be open. You don't want to close that part up because we're gonna thread the other half to attach our D-rings. So take the project to the machine and sew above the cut with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length, making sure you are back stitching on the beginning and on the end of your seam, and that all your fabrics on the other side stay out of the way of the seam. Now that we have the tabs sewn in, as you can see, this is still open. You're gonna thread your D-rings onto the tabs, and now place the other end of the tab inside of the opening. Pulling the D-ring down. Make sure that the both tabs are the same size, and as you can see, we're gonna have one on this side and one on that side, so when we are carrying the bag, the both sides are supported. So now that you are happy with the placement, you can do 2 things. You can take the project back to the machine and now sew through all those layers below the cut, or if you have rivets and you like to use rivets, you can place a rivet on each tab, making sure you are going through all 3 layers of the fabric. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna secure my tabs with rivets. Now that the tabs are attached, you wanna fold your pocket, open your zipper halfway through, take your main lining panel and place it right sides together and clip along this edge. Making sure you are keeping the zipper in mind, so maybe secure the tails of the zipper. And now that you have your project prep like this, so you have the lining and the main panel right sides together, you want to make sure that your pockets are staying out of the way of the seam. You're gonna take your project back to the machine and you're gonna sew along this edge with the 1/4 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length, making sure you are slipping the tails of the zipper so they're not gonna be sewed in all the way through the end of the seam. Take your project to the machine and sew the lining onto the main panel. Now that the lining is sewn in, we're gonna make a little clips where our corners are. Turn the project right side out. If you pin your lining, just don't forget to take the pin out. Pull your corners out. Finger press your project, because now we're gonna top stitch it. So when you have that done, you have your corners pushed nicely and you finger pressed your whole project all the way around. You're gonna take it back to the machine and you're gonna top stitch along the seam, and you're gonna be top stitching only from the moment where the zipper is sewn in. So start your top stitching at the point when your zipper tape is sewn in, and sew all the way around again up to the point where your zipper is sewed in. Back stitch on the beginning and on the end of the seam. Make sure everything is out of the way of the seam, so your card slot pockets are nice and flat. Your zipper pocket is pulled towards the middle point, and take your project to the machine and top stitch to set the placement of the zipper. Now that my project is top stitched, I'm gonna turn it wrong side out again. Place the zipper tails inside, and now we're gonna align our linings and our outers. So you have your project turned wrong side out. You're gonna fold the project in half. So you want to fold the outer together and the lining together, and first we want to align our seam where the lining and the outer meets. And when you have that done, you're gonna take the project back to the machine. Make sure your zipper is open, because this is how we're gonna make our final right side out turn. And now you're gonna take your project to the machine and you're gonna sew along this edge with the 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. You can start with basting this part together, so you're gonna have a perfect alignment in this place. And after you have that based, you're gonna continue the seams to close the bottom part of our project. So take the project to the machine and sew the bottom seam with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Now that we have our bottom seam sewn, I'm gonna clip that corner because I don't want to have a bulk there. And now I'm gonna turn the project right side out. I'm gonna make sure everything is looking good, everything is in the right place. And now I can pull the pocket out, fold the lining inside, clip it, and take it back to the machine and sew the opening close at the 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch and 3.5 stitch length, and then just pop the pocket back inside of my inside of the pocket. And the last thing for us to do is to finish up our zipper, and then we're gonna decide on the strap. Now that the lining in the pocket is closed, we can place it back inside the pocket. And now we're gonna work on our zipper. So first we're gonna put the zipper pull on. Make sure that your ends are looking nice. I got lucky the first time around, but if you need to redo it, just take as much time as needed so you'll have a nicely looking project. And now we're gonna work on the end of our zipper. So here you can attach a ready-made zipper end, a zipper cap, or you can make one out of the vinyl. I'm gonna go with the ready-made zipper end, which now I realize I forgot to mention on the beginning of the project, but it's gonna be written in the pattern itself. So I'm gonna trim my zipper and attach the zipper end. I'm gonna trim the zipper end to about 1.5 inches from the edge of my project. Fold it and install my zipper cap. When that's done, you can leave the zipper this way, or if you like the zipper inside, you can just pop it in inside through the opening. And this way you're gonna have that look, but either way it's fine. You can have the zipper end inside or outside, whatever look you prefer. So now that we basically finished our main part of the project, I think I'm gonna go with the lighter pink strap. So I'm gonna cut the webbing to the side and create my strap. And now my project is ready to use. I hope you enjoy this video tutorials for the handy crossbody bag. As you can see, I pack it up to present it to you. So here in the packet I have my keychain. On the back are the credit cards, nice and secure, and inside I have plenty of space for my cell phone. This is a cell phone case for iPhone 16 Pro, and it easily houses the chopsticks as well. So plenty of space for any cell phone and a couple small items inside, and keys in the front pocket, and couple of your credit cards securely stored on the back. If you did enjoy this video tutorial, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and to share it with your family and friends. Also, check if you are already a subscriber. If not, just click the subscribe button. It just takes a second and doesn't cost anything, but it helps my channel to grow. If you want to make one of those Das Handy's crossbody bags, grab a copy of the pattern from my Etsy store. The link is in the description below. If you want to grab it with a discount, just do it as soon as this video is published by visiting my Facebook group. You can join the Facebook group if you are not yet a member, and grab the coupon code to take advantage of the discount for the pattern. If you don't want to miss any upcoming videos, make sure the notification bell is marked, and I hope to see you soon on the next of my video tutorials. Till the next time.